This is TWiT.
I wanted to mention this. So Spotify held an event recently where it announced a whole host of changes and then also updates on the company, kind of what new features it had released in the past year. And of course, it's got like its user base and how that's grown or shrunk or what have you. But with that came the announcement of a new product or feature called DJ. And DJ is an AI DJ that is personalized to you. So this is a really cool thing. And I wonder, John, in the Spotify post, there is a YouTube video. And I'm wondering if for our live stream here, we could potentially play that. And then perhaps for, the final show, we don't show that. I don't know if the music would get dinged, but the reason why is because I want to give folks the chance to hear the voice of the DJ. But if you think that's a no-go, then I can just do the explaining. It's up to you. All right, looks like we're playing it. So right now we see the person tapping on things in the video.
Personal AI DJ on Spotify. Let's go.
All right, so that's all I wanted to show. There's the voice of the DJ, and basically what we hear, pretty good. Right? And what we hear is the DJ says hello to the person who is using this new Spotify feature, and then it's saying, hey, I'm going to kick things off, and we're going to listen to some music. So they play a song, and the DJ says, I know, 3 years ago, around the summertime, you were really into mopey anthems. And so here's a few mopey anthems for you to cry while laying in bed while the rain is going outside. And then it'll play that. And then afterwards, it's like, hey, it's time to get you out of your feels and get you up on the dance floor. There are a few electropop dance songs that I think you're going to like, based on the fact that you typically listen to this and this. And then it cuts into those songs. And what's awesome is, Spotify has long had this very popular end of the year feature called Unwrapped, where it would give you a highlight of the music listening that you had done over the course of the past year. And you would get the opportunity to see not only the music that you listen to, but the categories of music that you listen to, the genres. And then it would create a bunch of different playlists for you. And then throughout the year, it would use that information to continue to create these different playlists based on the music that you like. So Spotify, having a long history of your music listening habits, can then create this personal DJ that will go through and find these songs for you, but also give you a little bit of insight into what it is suggesting and why. And I think that's so magical. I remember in college taking a media class, and there was this story about radio stations with their DJs going from people being in the seat at the DJ booth and providing, in the moment, this live commentary to everything becoming automated. And there was this eerie tale of a place that had caught fire, and the whole city had, burned. And so people had moved, had evacuated. And when the emergency services trucks were going in, they had the radio on, and this eerie thing where the automated DJ was still playing music and talking as if nothing, had happened because everything was automated. And at the time, it was kind of a commentary on sort of the coldness of going from people actually being there to not being there. But over time, we've kind of moved away from radio DJ land, where you've got these folks kind of telling you about the stuff that they're going to spin for the day and why they're spinning the stuff that they're going to spin. And I think that part of that is because of the choices that we've all been given. We have more choice and more opportunity to listen to the music that we want to listen to. And so how can you combine choice and this new abundance while also still providing something like the value that DJ service once had? And this is a way to do it. And I think it's just so brilliant. To me, it's so brilliant. I get to listen to the music that I want to listen to, but I have this quote unquote person who's kind of guiding me through this music, maybe introducing me to some new music along the way, which as you get older, your music taste solidifies. So it is nice to know that, you could potentially be introduced to some new things and just kind of have fun. So my only disappointment with this is, I mentioned before, I'm a big audiobook listener. And I use Apple Music for most of my music listening. So Spotify doesn't have a whole lot of it. I used to use Spotify exclusively, but these days Spotify doesn't have a whole lot of information about my music listening. And so I have been trying to get the app to show me the DJ, but I don't think that it doesn't have stuff other than every time I leave the house, every time there's no one in the house, I've mentioned this before, I play classical music. And the reason why is because it's not about classical music specifically, but it is a low level of sound that the dogs focus on instead of all of the sounds that are outside that are distracting and potentially frightening to them, which then gets them all worked up, gets them anxious, gets them barking. And so by playing some music in the background, they've got that to listen to, and it lowers the chance of them getting frightened by something outside. And so it's resulted in them not, barking and getting freaked out while we're out of the house. So basically Spotify, what it knows about me is I just continue to play the same stinking playlist over and over again called Classical Focus. So for the past 3 years, it's been classical focus, classical focus, classical focus. So there's not really, I think, an opportunity to use the DJ feature, but I got to tell you, this feature specifically is something that has me thinking about using Spotify as my main music listening service going forward, because I want to try this out, which it's kind of it's a big thing. It's that compelling to me. And I mean, obviously it doesn't work so much on me in their favor because I'm already paying for Spotify, but it does make me wonder about others who maybe, because think about too, Jason, there are two groups that they can kind of tackle here. One is the group that has legit nostalgia. I'm tapping on the microphone a lot here. One is the group that has, that's how you know that this is real and not a DJ that's AI generated, because occasionally there's some Foley work going on. But one is the group that has genuine nostalgia for the times when you listen to the radio and hear a DJ spin through. And then the other, I think, is a group of younger people who may want to experience what that's like and get back in touch with, the way they used to do things. So this just all feels very smart on Spotify's part. And I am quite literally, after this show, I'm going to make my partner hand over his phone so I can try his DJ, because I'm sure he's got it because he uses Spotify as his means of listening to music. So I really want to see this at work, in action. I mean, I can't wait to see what it does, how it works. But yeah, I'm curious, just in general, your thoughts about an AI DJ and if something like this is compelling to you. And also, actually, before you answer that question, though, I have a question to lead to that. What is your music listening habit? Are you like me, an album listener where you seek out a specific album and listen all the way through and then go to a different one? Are you a playlist listener? Are you a hit random listener? Do you not listen to music? I know that one's not true. So yeah, tell me about your music listening habits, and then tell me what you think about having a generative AI DJ.
My music listening is very sporadic and not very patterned. It's really just like I might wake up one day and be like, oh, I haven't heard that band in a while, play a collection of that artist's songs randomly, or I might be like, oh, that's a really great album, I'll play that album. It's all over the map. It's really just like what hits me at what time and that sort of thing. Don't do a whole lot of playlist playing. Sometimes I do, but not very often. So that's kind of my habit. I do have Spotify. We have Spotify connected to our Google Homes throughout the house. So when we're listening to music at home, it's all done through our Spotify account. And my history is skewed because it's on the home devices. I get all of the listens to, modern pop music that my girls are really into, attached to my name. So, which is something that I'm very used to at this point. It's just been this way. It was like that when I was on YouTube Music and it was connected through the Google Homes. And I mean, it's just the way it is at this point. I've just kind of accepted that. So when I do listening for me, it's usually very specific because I can't rely on algorithms because they're going to give me a bunch of stuff that just doesn't actually apply to me. Sometimes they get it right. But I think what's interesting to me about this, or the caution that I feel about this, is I think it's neat technology. I hope that it isn't the kind of feature that is a proof of concept more than an actual useful, enjoyable experience. Like, it's neat that an AI can be a DJ, but do I as a listener actually want a DJ when I just want to listen to music? You know what I mean? Like, to some degree, the streaming solution is a bypass to what some people might feel is kind of like something that gets in the way of their listening to music, which is a DJ or whatever. However, at the same time, I have found many times where I'm listening to something and I have a curiosity like, oh, this person's in this band. I wonder what else did this person, before this band, was there another band that this person was in? What is their history? A little context. Like, I enjoy that kind of information around how the music was made, who's involved, what other stuff is connected to it. And if I could get an AI DJ that didn't pull me out of the experience because the voice was all wrong or whatever, but was actually good, which it sounds like maybe this is, that could do that, I would totally use that, depending on my mood. Like, I'm not always in the mood for something like that. Sometimes it's like play music. And sometimes it's kind of like I want to learn a little bit of something, So you listen to the song, that last song was recorded in LA with a producer, blah, blah, blah. He also did Nirvana Nevermind. Here's one of his most popular, produced tracks or whatever. You know what I mean? Something like that would be really cool. Like, I would love that. I hope that, I wonder if they've considered that, because that would be pretty special.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how it evolves. And as I mentioned, I'm going to try to move my listening over to Spotify for the purpose of gaining enough use that it starts to go, oh, he's more than just listening to a single playlist over and over on repeat.
Yeah, right. But I will also say I'm a very nostalgic person. And so if I could trust my listening history, which I can't, but if I could, I would probably be very into, some sort of a playlist where they're explaining why they're playing certain things from my history. Back in 2010, you were listening to a lot of The Strokes or whatever. Here was a song that you listened to a lot that year or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Absolutely.
Down for that. Yeah. Pretty neat stuff.
I agree.
And actually, I wonder if other services like Apple Music are going to do this too, right? Like, is Spotify opening the door, and now others are going to try this sort of thing? So you might not need to move back to Spotify. Maybe it'll meet you where you are.
I would love that.
We'll see.
Hey, we should talk Linux. It's the operating system that runs the internet, but your game consoles, cell phones, and maybe even the machine on your desk. But you already knew all that. What you may not know is that TWiT now has a show dedicated to it, the Untitled Linux Show. Whether you're a Linux pro, a burgeoning sysadmin, or just curious what the big deal is, you should join us on the Club TWiT Discord every Saturday afternoon for news, analysis, and tips to sharpen your Linux skills. And then make sure you subscribe to the Club TWiT exclusive Untitled Linux Show. Wait, you're not a Club TWiT member yet? Well, go to twit.tv/clubtwit and sign up. Hope to see you there.